Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Flower Child 567. And today is Friday. Yay, we love Friday, don't we? We love Friday. And hey, Friday also means our Tamriel Storyteller Hour. And as you remember, I know you remember, we are in the process of reading through all of the 36 lessons of Vivec. So that's going to be important for us to remember also that we are on lesson 18. So like the other sessions for Vivec's 36 lessons, we're going to travel to Vardenfel, and you can look at the beautiful landscape. Now, I do want to show you one thing before I get started. If we go into our lore books, of course, and we go down to the lessons. Let's go down here. Vivec's 36 lessons. You can see I only have 12 of the 36, so I'm actually working with an online source because I have incredible holes. Like I can read 18 from here, which I will, and then we'll travel down, and then I'll read 19 down there, and then 20 and 21. Maybe that's all the farther we get to today. I do not know, but if you're ready, I'm ready. So thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and light our candles and pull out our apocryphal tome and get that open. Oh yeah. Now we are ready to go. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and open up. Well, I shouldn't have closed it. I'm going to go ahead and open up lesson 18 so that you can read along with me. How does that sound? Here we go. And of course, this is Sermon 18, written by Vivec himself. Now, Vivec felt that he had taught the Hortator as much as he could before the war with the Dreamer came. The warrior poet decided he had to begin his Book of Hours at that point because the world was about to bend with its age. Vivec entered the mourning hold and announced to Ayem that he was going to fight 9 monsters that had escaped the Muatra. "I will return," he said, "to deal the last blow to the grand architect of the Dreamer." Ayem said, "Out of 9, you will find only 8, though they be mighty. The last is already destroyed by your decision to create the Book of Hours." Vivec understood that Ayem meant himself. "Why?" she asked. "Are you in doubt?" Vivec knew that his doubt made him the sword of the Triune, and so he did not feel shame or fear. Instead, he explained, and these are the words. "Can a member of the Invincible Gate become so archaic that its successor is not so much an improvement of the exact model, but rather a related model that is just needed more because of the currency of the world's condition?" Excuse me. "As a mother, you do not have to worry, unless things in the future are so strange that even Seth cannot understand. Neither does the executioner or the fool, but I am neither. These ideals are not going to change in nature, even though they have change in representation. But even in the West, the Rainmaker vanishes. No one needs him anymore. Can one oust the model, not because the model is set according to an ideal, but because it is tied to an ever-changing unconscious mortal agenda. This is what was said to Ayam when Vivec was whole. The wise shall not mistake this. Ayam said, "This is why you were born of a Nichimen's wife and destined to merge with the simulacrum of your mother, gilded and blended in all the arts of the star-wounded East, under water, and in fire, and in metal, and in ash, 6 times the wise, to become the union of male and female, the magic hermaphrodite, the martial axiom, the sex death of language, and unique in all the middle world." Vivec knew then why he would record his Book of Hours. This sermon is forbidden. In this world and others, 18 less 1, the victor, is the magical disc, hurled to reach heaven by violence. This sermon is untrue. The ending of the world is Almsavi. Wow, huh? What do you think about that? This is kind of heavy lore, I think. And you know, we don't really, we come across all these books in World on quests. And, yeah, they go beyond the quests, I think. All right, my friends, let's travel. Let me get you a blessing. Come here. First, let me locate the spot we're gonna go to. Let me bring up the map. Oh my goodness, how did that happen? I opened the portal already. Oh, I guess we're just. Oh wow, I guess that means we're just supposed to step through. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Okay, then let's do it. You're gonna have to feel good about traveling your own self and getting to where we're going, which we are going to go to the windy path, I think. The Valley of the Wind. Here we go. Hold tight. Well, here we are, up at the very tip of Vardenfel. And you can see what it's like up here. It's very volcanic and misty. Well, look at, right here is a backpack just waiting for us. All right, let's go down to the water's edge. Hopefully it's safe and we can just stand there and gaze out upon all of the view that's down here. You see this? Oh, isn't that beautiful over there? Look at that sun rising. All right, my friends, let's take a look at all this as I read to you Sermon 19. Okay, here we go. Sermon 19 by Vivec. Vivec put on his armor and stepped into a non-spatial space, filling to capacity with mortal interaction and information. A canvasless cartographer of every single mind it has ever known. An event that has developed some semblance of a divine spark. He said, "From here I shall launch my attack on the 18 monsters." Vivec then saw the moths that would come from the starry heart, bringing with them dust more horrible than the ash of Red Mountain. He saw the twin head of a ruling king who had no equivalent, and 8 imperfections rubbed into precious stones, set into a crown that looked like shackles, which he understood to be the twin crowns of the 2-headed king, and a river that fed into the mouth of the head king because he contained multitudes. Vivec then built the provincial house at the center of the secret door, and from here he could watch the age to come. Of the house is written, Cornerstone 1 has a finger buried under, pointing through dirt, slow, low, in the ground. North cannot be guessed, and yet it is free spirit. Cornerstone 2 has a tongue, and even dust can be talkative. Listen, and you will see the love the ancient libraries need. Cornerstone 3 has a bit of string shaped like your favorite color. A girl remembers who left it there, but she is afraid to dig it out and see what it is attached to. Cornerstone 4 has 9 bones removed carefully from a black cat, arranged in the fashion of this word, protecting us from our enemies. Your house is safe now, so why is it? Your house is safe now, so why is it? The ending of the words is Alm-Savi. I don't know that I would want a tongue or a finger or bones of a cat underneath my house, but okay. It is what it is. Have you really ridden around Vardenfel? Just ridden around it, not to quest, not to go to a dungeon or a world boss or a dolmen, but just to see the varied landscape and sights that you can actually witness here on this bit of land. Of course, Nyx's hounds are everywhere, and I don't have my wand with me, but I think they'll leave us be. We're coming over here to this ruin. The Flame Atronach's huddle. We're going to stand right up here on this point just to look at it. Hey, Az, what are you doing there, buddy? Look at the monsters here. All of a sudden, we're starting to see his monsters. All right, we're going to read book number 20, and I happen to have that in the lore. So let's read it from here. Sermon 20 by Vivec. The first monster was actually 2, having been born twice like his mother-father, Vivec. He was not the mightiest of the 8 to escape Muatra, but his actions were the most worrisome. He was known as Moon Axle, and he harvested the leftover foibles of nature. This he did twice, as was said, and the second harvest always brought ruin or unwritten law. His aspect was faceted like a polydron. No perils are mentioned in the finding of Moon Axle, but it was known that he was immune to spears, so Vivec had to use the sword not held against him. Before he took issue with the monster, the warrior poet asked, "How came you to be immune to spears?" To which Moon Axle replied, "Mine is a dual nature and protean. I am in fact made of many straight lines, though none last too long. In this way I have learned to ignore all true segments." Well, luckily the sword not held was curved and therefore could cut into Moon Axle, and before the sun was up he was bleeding from many wounds. Vivec did not slay him outright, for to do so would keep the foibles of nature within him and not back where they belonged. Soon Vivec had traced geography right again, and Moon Axle was ready to be slain. Vivec rose up, his giant form to be terrible to look upon. He reached into the west and pulled out a cannon, holding it like a horn. He reached east and ate a handful of Nyx hounds, blowing their spirits through the canyon, made a terrible wail, not unlike an unsolved woman. He said, "Let this overtake you." And Moon Axle was overtaken by the curvature of stolen souls. They wrapped about the monster like resin, until finally he could not move, nor could his dual nature. Vivec said, "Now you are solved," and pierced his child with Muatra. Moon Axle had been reduced to something static, and therefore shattered. The lines of Moon Axle were collected by Velothi philosophers and taken into caves. There, and for a year, Vivec taught the philosophers how to turn the lines of his son into spokes of mystery wheels. And this was the birth of the first whirling school. Before that had only been the surface thought of fire. Vivec looked at his first wheeling students and observed. Alike, the egg-layered universe is this morbid possession of three distant coverage, soul-wrecked and alive, like my name is alive. In this cloister you have discovered one walking path, healed like a sword, but more coarsened. So edged it is that it has to be whispered to keep the tongue from bleeding, where its signs evaluate their former meanings, like empires that tarry too long. The sword is estrangement from statesmanship. Look on the estimable lines of my son, now crafted star-wise, his every limb equidistance from the center. Is he solved because I will it so? There cannot be a second stage. Think on the theory that my existence promulgates the 5 elements, and alike the 8-layered universe, I am cause for great density. Here is a thought that can break the wagon's axle. Here is another that can soar. And the ending of the words is Alm Savi. And that's the end of that book. But while I stand right here amongst some of the monsters that we have become very familiar with in our questing and our battling, I'm going to read to you Sermon 21. Sermon 21 by Vivec. The Scripture of the Wheel. First. The spokes are the 8 components of chaos, as yet solidified by the law of time, static change, if you will. Something the lizard gods refer to as the striking. That is the reptile will, coiled potential, ever preamble to the never action. Second, they are the lint bones of the Aedra, the 8 gift limbs to the Sihithsit, the wet earth of the new star, our home. Outside them is the Arbus, and not within. Like most things inexplicable, it is a circle. Circles are confused serpents, striking and never given leave to bite. The Aedra would have you believe different, but they were givers before liars. Lies have turned them into biters. Their teeth are the proselytizers. To convert is to place oneself in the mouth of falsehood. Even to procreate is to be swallowed. Third, the enlightened are those uneaten by the world. I like that. I'm going to read that again. Third, the enlightened are those uneaten by the world. Fourth, the spaces between the gift limbs, number 16, the signal shapes of the demon princedoms. It is the key and the lock, Ceres and Manticore. Fifth, look at the majesty sideways, and all you see is the tower which our ancestors made idols from. Look at its center, and all you see is the begotten whole. Second serpent, womb ready for the right reaching, exact and without enchantment. Sixth, the heart of the second serpent holds the secret triangular gate. Seventh, look at the secret triangular gate sideways, and you see the secret tower. Eighth, the secret tower within the tower is the shape of the only name of God, I. The ending of the words is Alm Savi. Oh, look at my friends. Right there. Do you see that magic bag? Well, you guys call them heavy bags. I call them magic bag. Let's see if we can get it without agitating. Yes, I can. Look at that. Oh, no. I'm going to agitate him.
Prosperous discovery.
Oh! Run! Run! Oh, no, he's getting me, and I don't have anything to kill him with. I don't have anything to kill him with because I'm not wearing a staff, because I always bring out my matriarch accidentally when I'm reading lore. Let's see. Is he leaving me alone, or is he coming?
Damn it!
Oh, oh my goodness, how funny is that? Did you kill him? Did you kill him? I hope so. All right. Let's go over here. A little action, right, to get you awake. Because I know you were falling asleep there. I could hear your light snore happening, and I don't want you to sleep while I'm reading the sermons to you of all things. Let's come over here. I'm a wimp right now because I don't have any weaponry attached. It's just little old me. Let's go over here. We'll go up on top of this hill and see what we can see and continue our story time. Oh, look, there's someone right there. Hello, hello. Okay, let's see. Are we safe right here? This is a pretty picture to read to. I don't know. I think we're far enough away from those little things. So Let's see, that was 21, wasn't it? Let me do a quick check. I think that was 21 that we just read. Oh, shoot. I think so. I think so. All right. Let me show you. Oh my gosh, my hands are doing that weird thing again. I don't know why my hands have started getting stuck. All right, so you're going to see the back of me as we go to our next lore book. And it's going to be 22, I believe. So here we go. All right, lesson 21. Yes, 22. Here we are, lesson 22 by Vivec. And book 22, of course, is just like all the others. It's a series of words of wisdom relating to Vivec. Do you say Vivec? I say Vivec. Then Vivec left the whirling school and went back to the space that was not a space. From the provisional house, he looked into the middle world to find the second monster, which was called the Treasurewood Sword. And within years of pomegranate banquet, it had become a lessening tune to the lower Velothi houses. They preached of its power. The Treasurewood Sword, splinter scintilla of the high and glorious, he who wills it becomes self-known. That's what they would say. And the warrior poet appeared as a visitation in the ancestor alcove of House Mora, whose rose-worn Prince of Garlands was a hero because the northern demons. Vivec congregated with bones, and he said, "A scavenger cannot acquire a silk sash and expect to discover the greater systems of its predecessor. Perfect happiness is embraced only by the weeping. Give me back, and do so freely, what is barren of my marriage, and I will not erase you from the thought realm of God. Your line has a notable enchantress that my sister Ayam is fond of, and from her murky wisdom alone do I condescend to ask." A bone walker emerged from a wall. It had 3 precious stones set in its lower jaw, a magical practice of old. One was opal, the color of opal. The bone walker bowed to the prince of the middle air and said, "The Treasurewood Sword will not leave our house. Bargains were made with the Black Hands, Methala, the Greater Shade." Vivec kissed the first precious stone and said, "Animal picture, rude walker, go back to the lamp that stays lit in water, and store no more messages of useless noise. Down." He kissed the second precious stone and said, "Proud residue soon dispersed. Serve no guarantees made in my foreimage, and demand nothing of its underskin. I am master evermore. Down." He kissed the opal and said, "Down I take thee." And then Vivec withdrew into the hidden places and found the darkest mothers of the Morag Tong, taking them all to wife and filling them with undusted loyalty that tasted of summer salt. They became as black queens, screaming live with 100 murderous suns, 1,000 murderous arms, and 100,000 murderous hands. One vast, moving event of thrusting, kill, laughter in alleys, palaces, workshops, cities, and secret halls. Their movements among the holdens of the Ryatham were as rippled endings, heaving between times, with all fates leading to swallowed knives, murder as moaning, God's holy rape, erasure of wet death. The king of assassins presented to Vivec the treasure wood sword. "Milord," the king of assassins said, "the prince of House Mora is now fond of you as well. I placed him in the corner of Dagon. His eyes are set into a fire, prayer for the wicked. His mouth I stuffed with birds." And the ending of the words is Alm Savi. Okay, so this is pretty heavy stuff, isn't it? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. We're going to go to another location. Let's see, where are we? Oh. I guess we're going to go this way. See the beautiful... oh, my hands are still there. See the beautiful animals. What's this up here? Stay away from me. Where are we going, do you suppose? Oh, look at this. I think we'll just wait right here. We won't go inside. Oh! Sorry, I got startled. I'm not in warrior mode. I'm not a fighter right now. I'm a lover right now. Don't kill me. Ooh. I like the way those mushrooms on that rock over there look like holes. Alright, let's come up here. Alright. Not much here, but you know, this is very Vardenfelish, isn't it? So, we're gonna look right here. Now I can't get out. Oh, there we go. I'm having trouble. I think my controller is dying. That's what I think is happening. Because it just doesn't work very well for me anymore. Alright, I'm coming over here. I'm going to go up on this. This is very cool landscape. So we're going to gaze upon it. And that fire down there. Okay, let's continue. Here we go. We are going to read Sermon 24 today. All right. Then Vivec left the House of Assassins and went back to the space that was not a space. From the provisional house he looked into the middle world to find the third monster called Horde Mountain. It was made of modular warriors running free but spaced according to pattern, and from the highest warrior who could cut clouds, they spread out beneath him like a tree, a skirt whose bottom circle was an army that ran through the ash. Vivec admired the cone shape of his child and remembered with joy the whirlwind of fighting styles that instructed him during the days before life. Vivec moved into Veloth, saying, "Onus," But before he could even get within sword span of the monster, a trio of lower houses had trapped Horde Mountain in a net of doubtful doctrine. And when they saw Lord, the Velothi cheered. "We are happy to serve you and win," they said. Vivec smiled at those brave souls around him and summoned celebration demons to cleave unto the victors. There was a great display of love and duty around the netted monster, and Vivec was at the center with a headdress made of mating bones. He laughed and told mystical jokes and made the heads of the three houses merry and become a new order. "You shall forever be now my buoyant armigers," he said. Then Vivec pierced Horde Mountain with Muatra and made of it all a big bag of bones, and at the touch of his right hand the net became right scripture, and he threw it all northeasterly. The contents spread out like sugar glows, and Vivec and the buoyant armigers ran under it, laughing. Finally, the bones of Horde Mountain landed and became the foundation stones for the City of Swords, which Vivec named after which Vivec named after his own sigil, and the net fell across it all and between, or became the bridges between bones. And since its segments had been touched by his holy wisdom, they became the most perfect of all city streets in the known worlds. Throngs of Velothi came to the new city, and Ayim and Seth gave it their blessing. And the streets were filled with laughter and love and the strength of three-shaped enemy children. Ayim said, "To my sister's brother's city, I give the holy protection of House Elderscrolls, whose powers and thrones know no equal under heaven, wherefrom came the Hortator." Seth said, "To my sister brother's city I give safe passage through the dark corners still left of Molag Bal, and I give it this spell as well, Sot Ha Sil, which is my name to the mighty. It will protect the lost unless their fight is on purpose, and fill all the roads and alleys with the mystery paths of civilization, and give the city a mind, and make of it a conduit to the full concentrate of the Al-Samvi." Thus was founded the city of Vivec in the days of Restania. And the ending of the words is Alm Savi. Gosh, so now we've learned, we have the first Solfa Sil being spoken, and we also know where, just a second, I gotta go back. We know where, just a second, where the buoyant armigers come from. So that's the origin. We just learned the origin of the buoyant armigers. I think that's pretty cool. That's why I love reading the lores, because we learn so much from it. So remember, buoyant armigers, if you're into that sect, comes from Sermon 24 of the 36 Lessons of Vivec. And the first mention of the name Solfa Sil is said in lesson 24 or sermon 24. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, where are we? Let's see. I think I've got time for maybe one more. And this I'm kind of happy that we're in raw, lava flow, because it's kind of the formation of all mountains, isn't it? So it's kind of cool that, look at this, a magic bag. I love it. What did I get? Thank you.
A most auspicious find.
Oh, I think so too, as a most auspicious find indeed. Okay, I can't go any farther in this direction. Can I climb? Let's see if I can climb up here. Maybe. Yes, I could. Have you ever climbed around these? Oh, I hope I don't die. I didn't, but it hurt me. I'm trying to get to the water again because I want to close at the water's edge. Why? I don't know. I just do. There. Maybe I'm far from water. Let me check. Not too far, but sort of. Here we go. What's down here? I think it might be... Oh, it's something. Let's see what this is. Is this a delve? Oh, it's a delve. Well, look at that. Okay. Oh, water, water. If I don't find it over the next crest, then we will just read our last bit of lore together. I don't think I'm gonna... I guess I didn't find it. Oh, and look at way out here. Way out here is a quest. Do you see that? Look, I'm going to show you where it is. You see where I am? Way out here. So I'm going to put a marker because after we're done, guess what I might do? A quest. All right. Let me just go up here. All right, I'm going to read the final lesson for today, and that is water. See, I knew I was near water. Well, if you run in any direction, you get to water, right? Oh, there we go. That's a pretty view, isn't it? All right, let's look. Oh, let's look this direction. All right. For our final piece of lore today, we are going to read Sermon 26 from the 36 lessons of Vivec, which means after this, there's only 10 more. Okay. Then Vivec left his agricultural rapture and went back to the space that was not a space. And from the provincial house, he looked into the middle world to find the fourth monster called the Pocket Cabal. And the monster hid itself in the spell lists of the great chimera wizards of the extreme east, where the emperor parasols grow wild. Vivec disguised himself as a simple traveler, but radiated a tenuous sense fabric so that the wizards would seek him out. Of Mudra, he made a simple walking dwarf. Before long, the Invisible One was among the libraries of the East, feeding the essential words of the Pocket Cabal to his walking dwarf, and then running when the magic would fail. After a year or two of this thievery, Mudra was sick to its stomach, and the walking dwarf exploded near the slave pens of a wizard's tower. The Pocket Cabal then slipped itself into the mouths of the slaves and hid again. Vivec then watched as the slaves erupted into babble and breaking magic, and they rattled their cages and sung out half hymns that formed into forbidden and arcane knowledge. Litany fiends appeared and drank from the excess. Grabbers from the adjacent palace and place came into the world sideways. The slave talking having disrupted the normal, non-cardinal points. So of course a giant bug appeared. What else? With the greatest Eastern wizard inside it. He could see past Vivec's disguise and knew of the warrior poet's divinity. But he thought himself so powerful that he talked harshly. See what you have wrought, silly Tryon? Columns of nonsense and litany fiends. I cannot believe how reason or temperature can be made whole again due to your eating. Consort with more demons, why don't you? Well, Vivec stabbed the wizard through his soul. The giant bug harness fell on the slave cages, and the slaves ran about free and reckless, too reckless more with pregnant words, colors bent into the earth, and Vivec created a dome-head demon to contain it all. The pocket cabal is therefore interred here forever. Let this be a cursed land where sorcery is broken and maligned, he said. Then he picked up Muatra by the beard and left the ghostly hemisphere of the dome-head demon on its boundaries. Vivec placed a warning and a song of entrance that contained airs in it. And with mock bones of half-dead Muatra, he created the tent poles of a fortress theory, and fatal languages were imprisoned for all time. Seth appeared and looked on what his brother-sister had created. The Clockwork King said, "Of the 8 monsters, this is the most confusing. May I treasure it?" Vivec gave Seth leave to do so, but told him never to release the pocket cabal into the middle world. He said, "I have hidden secrets in my travels here, and made a likeness of Muatra to ward against the unwise. Under this dome, the temporal myth is no longer man." The ending of the words is Alm Savi. So that brings up the curiosity of the Clockwork City, right? Because now we have the first mention of the Clockwork City. See, I believe that the lessons of Vivec, the 36 lessons of Vivec, are creation myth. And that as we've gone through it, we're seeing some of the different lands being created, some of the different peoples being created, and of course the evolution between the triune, right? Which we know them as Am and Seth, and of course Vivec. He has his own name, Vivec being the primary of the Trinity. But eventually they take on different names, right? So I'm hoping that as we move, Sothis, we've already heard Sothis Seal is his true God name, Seth's true God name, and he becomes the king of the Clockwork City, right? So I'm wondering if in these lessons we're also going to read the evolutionary process for Ahim. That'll be interesting to see. Well, my friends, this brings us to the end of this week's Storyteller Hour. I'm going to tell you, I'm just taking a small break because in just a little while, I will be giving to you a There's No Place Like Home episode with a special guest. So you're all going to want to tune in for that. That's going to be in just 1 hour. So take a break and then come right back for the special There's No Place Like Home as we share some time with a special guest. And the special guest is Evans Landing 73. Oh, and you don't want to miss her creations. All right, my friends, bye for now. Thank you for tuning in. This is Flower Child 567. See you next Friday. Bye.